Hello and welcome to another day, another episode of Stories with K. Siddiqui. I hope you all are doing well and are able to find magic in your story in your life. I am sorry, I have been MIA for quite a while. As promised, I was not able to upload the videos regularly, but it's life. Life happens. Things come over in your life, and you have to deal with them. So it was I was in kind of a similar situation. I apologize for the delay. However, I would be announcing a new schedule for my videos. Why? Because I feel that it's kind of unfair that these kind of events occur and my videos start going missing into the platform. So I felt, I hope the camera is straight now. Okay. So I felt that I should be managing a schedule for you guys so that I am also able to give it a balance along with my work, along with my life, along with my family, my friends, and everyone. And you guys also know when the videos would be uploaded. So for today's video, we would be completing the third part of Scattered Minds by Gabermat. For the review, we had talked about ADHD as given in this book. We had talked about the definition of it. The definition had three aspects. The first two aspects were discussed in the previous videos. You can find them in my channel, on my channel. The third part of the definition, we would be covering it today. After that, for a while, I might not be covering this book because although this book has so many things to do even now, even today, but I had to really scratch out the things that I didn't want to discuss because obviously there's a very specific time for my videos and I try to keep it as precise as possible. So let's get on to it. So the third aspect of an ADHD is hyperactivity. So the part of the definition, part of the book that I'm reading describes hyperactivity in ADHD or ADD individuals. Hyperactivity is the third salient characteristic of ADD. Classically, it is expressed by trouble keeping physically still, but it may also be present in forms not readily obvious to the observer. Some fidgetiness will likely be apparent. Toes or finger tapping, thighs pumping, nails being chewed, teeth biting inside the mouth. The hyperactivity may also take the form of excessive talking. In a minority of cases, especially in girls, hyperactivity may be absent altogether. They may go through school inattentive and absent-minded. But as they cause no trouble, they are passed through from grade to grade. While the finding of hyperactivity is not required for the diagnosis of ADD, it can be quite dramatic for some patients. The only thing that ever slowed me down was the police when I was caught speeding, said a 27-year-old woman. Stopping it over here, I had discussed this in my previous video. This book has a lot of references of Gabermat's clients who are going through ADD and ADHD, and he talks about their experiences. Like he has quoted one of his clients who actually became aware of her hyperactivity when she was caught overspeeding. Okay. The talkativeness of many children with ADD is notorious. One grade 2 boy was called Talk Bird by his classmates. So incessant was his chatter. His parents too were often after him to be quiet. It's as if such a child is saying, I'm cut off from people. So anxious that if I don't work overtime to establish contact with them, I will be left alone. I only know to do this through my words. I know no other way. Some adults with ADD have told me that they speak so quickly, partly because so many words and phrases tumble into their minds that they fear forgetting the most important ones unless they release them first. So I think we all know, must be knowing people who talk a lot, talk way too fast, and we judge them. The individual with ADD experiences the mind as perpetual motion machine, an intensive aversion to boredom and abhorrence of it takes hold as soon as there is no ready focus of activity, distraction, or attention. The restlessness coexists with long periods of procrastination. I'll repeat this. The restlessness coexists with long periods of procrastination. The threat of failure or the promise of reward has to be immediate for the motivation apparatus to be turned on. Without the rousing adrenaline rush of racing against time, inertia prevails. Not once in high school or university did I begin an assignment or essay before the eve of the day it was due. Gabermat has also, since he's also a diagnosed ADHD, he has also given his own experiences in the book. So what he's talking about, that the only time I started my assignments when I was a student was the night of when it was due. I think we all know such people in our life. In that era of manual typewriters, my rough copies had to serve as final copies. They resembled academic tossed salad. Sheets pasted over with pieces of paper bearing hastily scribbled corrections. On the other hand, when there is something one wants, neither patience nor procrastination exist. One has to do it, get it, have it, experience it immediately. Frequent and frustrating this is also very important, that's why I stopped. Frequent and frustrating memory lapses occur every other day in the life of a person with ADD. I'll repeat it. Frequent and frustrating memory lapses occur every day in the life of an ADD. A close friend of mine, Brian, has attention deficit disorder. He also has a dog. They take each other for daily walks. As Brian puts on his coat, hat, and boots, the dog lies under the kitchen table waiting. Brian leaves the house. The dog doesn't move. The dog will not budge until Brian has come back into the house for the third time for key, wallet, or whatever other items he has forgotten to take the first two times. The dog has learned from experience, which is more than what can be said for the owner. So I hope the definitions that we have discussed for ADD, they might be the three parts that we've broken into. They might seem very interconnected. So yeah, they are kind of interconnected, but I think they give a very clear insight on how ADD or ADHD within humans work. So I hope it makes us all empathetic towards the people we know, specifically in understanding how their brain works and being patient while dealing with them, specifically if it's a family member. So I hope the videos are helping. They'll keep coming. As about the schedule that I was talking about, on Fridays I would be reading the real life stories that I had talked about on my channel, and on Saturdays I would be discussing a book that I like. So the weekends we would be talking. As for today's video, I hope my videos were helpful. I hope I was able to do justice to the definition and the beautiful book that's written by Gabermat. I have so much respect for this man, and I hope you all enjoyed it. If there are any comments, anything that you want to share, you can, if there's any feedback or anything that you want to share, you can always leave a comment below. And I'll be seeing you guys in my next video very soon. Take care. Bye-bye.